It's gonna go live, and once it goes live, I'll be able to actually, you know what? Let me just share this with you. And ooh, okay, let me try that. Why is that unable to connect? I got to do some kind of troubleshooting. Hold on. We are live on YouTube. We are live. Beautiful. All right. Okay, good sir. I've got some links for you. So that is the Facebook page. If you scroll down on that Facebook page, you'll find the post. And if you want, here is some copy for you to copy and paste and edit accordingly as well. It's all in the Zoom chat. Meanwhile, I'm gonna do my magic and share on my platforms while people slowly start rolling in.
It's the face.
Yeah, you might want to mute the live. That part always auto plays. There we go. Share.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're on the pre-roll. Bow. Post.
Oh, so we're in like the back room.
We're in the back, exactly. People are getting to see the back room. You're getting it. Ooh, gotta do some formatting. Jeez. Boom. Share. Done. And one more just onto our page. Oh, come on, man. Don't do this to me. There we go.
Got 5 live.
5 live, baby. All right, I need to figure out why that does that to me. I'm gonna do this later. 5 live. Hey, if you guys are watching us right now, and if you can hear Eric and you can hear myself, do us a favor, say hi in the comments. Just want to make sure that you guys can hear us and see us, and also just so that I can say hi, we can say hi back to you as well.
We're super bored.
We are just like we're just quarantined as a motherfucker. And for those of y'all that are joining us right now in the back room, getting to see the behind the scenes, I'm gonna be jamming a whole bunch with Eric just to figure out where ShineOn has been in the past while, and he's done some mammoth work, pretty much moving states, moving his entire operation. So we're gonna be talking about that. Come say hi in the comments, as always. And tag a friend that needs to see this too. This is going to be a good one, I promise you. There we go. That should. Microphone is Yeti. Okay.
Sounded much better with that.
Boom. There we go. Yeah. It's funny how the AirPods just don't play well with Zoom. Zoom just picks everything up.
You got the AirPod Pros?
No, man, I'm just sticking to the old ones. I bought like before the Pros dropped. I had like someone bought me one of those Apple voucher like gift cards that was gonna expire. So I was like, I gotta buy the previous version. I can't hold out for the other one. It's crazy.
Dude, the AirPod Pros they're amazing.
I hear they are nuts.
Yeah, I was never a fan of noise canceling until I got those.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Okay, I'm posted in
Nice.
5 different channels.
Oh no shit. 5 different channels.
ShineOn Philippines, ShineOn Vietnam, the main ShineOn.
And you know You know, ShineOn Philippines and ShineOn Vietnam. If people come and like show up there, you know they're like troopers because it's like 7 a.m. for them right now. They're the real ones.
They're beasts, man. I love our Vietnamese sellers. I love our Philippine sellers. Like,
amazing. I can't wait to ask you those questions so that everyone else can hear about how ShineOn works as a platform and like into the back end. Akash, what's good? Hello, sir. Hello, Akash. Thanks for saying hi in the comments.
Got a live one.
Got a live one, exactly. Make sure you tag your friends. We're jamming jewelry today. In fact, you know what? Let's should we just jump on in? Should we just jump on in? Sure. Let's get the show going. I'll get this bad boy standing by, and let's get this thing on the. Look at that fancy ass fucking mic stand, arm and shit. Oh my god. All right, let us get this thing going. Time for the intro. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Growth and Greatness Show live. I've got Eric Taz with me today. I'll make sure we're going to be jumping over to him in a second. Funny story, Eric and I actually almost shared a bed this one time. It was a good thing. We almost turned out to have to figure out big spoon, little spoon. Didn't have to in the end, but I relish the opportunity for the next time we have to get into that hairy situation again. Before I throw over to Eric, though, I want to make sure that I intro him properly. Eric is the founder of ShineOn, a world leader in the print-on-demand jewelry space that also prototypes, manufactures, and ships from its own factory. The bio says New Jersey. They've got a new operation, a new spot right now. I'm definitely going to ask him about that because they made that transition in a snap, and that is so impressive. Now, ShineOn is a 50-person company that employs over 30 hardworking mothers. Also, can't wait to dig into why it's so important for Eric to be able to support, to have such mothers represent such a big part of his workforce, right? Here's the cool thing. ShineOn is also currently a top 50 Shopify store worldwide. How do you get there? That's what this whole show's about. Now, Eric's also been part of e-commerce companies that have raised $27 million US dollars in venture capital, and was also a finalist for Shopify's Build the Business competition in 2015. So when Eric's not working, he loves to travel the world. Well, when life was normal back then, that was definitely the thing. That was how we met in the first place. He also loves to hike, write for his website at erictaz.com, and he loves to make tea. And if you go onto the website, you'll find that the pop-up message is amazing. You want to join the entrepreneurs as well as Eric's grandma on that list for sure. So without further ado, let's throw over to my man Eric. Dude,
what
how
up,
you doing,
everybody?
man?
Good, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Dude, thank you for taking the time.
I feel like I'm talking to my brother here. My brother and housemate in Phuket.
I know. You know what's really crazy? You are one of the few, very, 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 very few people that live that are from North America that know anything about Aussie footy or Australia at all. Like, you were just dropping like footy names, and you're like, yeah, man, AFL and this and that and the other. Like,
the Crows.
The Crows, dude.
Yeah, so I played on an AFL team in the US called US AFL League. I was on the New York City Magpies, and we were really good because New York has more Australians than any other city in the country. So we were like 50% Australian players, 50% Americans, and the Aussie guys are way better, of course.
Right, because they grew up with that stuff.
Yeah. All right. Slack.
So the Slack is going nuts for you, man. Like, that's exactly why I said I appreciate you. You're a super busy man, especially since the start of COVID. I know you guys did a lot of work to start moving your operations and stuff like that. Before we get into that, can you give us a breakdown of, just for the viewers that might not have heard about ShineOn before, can you give us a breakdown of what ShineOn is, what ShineOn does, and how it interacts with sellers? Is it a brand? Is it a platform?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I love the opportunity to explain it because it's definitely not apparent. Like if you just went to shineon.com, you might think it's just some sort of like a single Shopify store. But the core of the business is this light manufacturing and personalization factory that we've created. So we'll take all of the most popular personalized products you can find on, let's say, Etsy or Amazon or wherever. Everything we look for has to have some sort of personalization element to it. And so what we'll do is we'll identify these winning products. We'll go make a bunch of them, set up automation for them, set up automation at scale. That's really the difficult part of our business. And then distribute those products, give them to sellers at a wholesale price through our Shopify app. If you don't have Shopify, if you're like in Vietnam or Philippines, and you have trouble getting Stripe, then you can sell through ShineOn.com as an affiliate. And it's the same thing. It's just we'll pay you out a commission for the sale. And that's how we were able to grow ShineOn.com so quickly, become a top 50 Shopify store, is because we have affiliates running traffic. We barely do any of the traffic ourselves, to be honest. So our core focus in the whole business is finding high margin products that are timeless, like they'll always sell all year round. And the biggest differentiator between us and some of the other people in the sort of product affiliate space is that we're not doing gadgets or Nutra or skincare, which are really trying to solve a problem. Like you have this skincare problem, here's the solution. We're in the business of pulling heartstrings. And so we're getting, the more orders that come in, we're getting smarter and smarter and smarter about what sells, like what triggers people's emotions to purchase. And so
I love it.
that's what we're doing.
I love it. That right there. We're in the business of pulling heartstrings. Like it's so crazy to me how few. I don't want to say people. Wrong word. How few entrepreneurs are able to, or business owners or brand owners are able to actually know what they're in the business of, in to that degree, right? Instead of saying we're in the jewelry business, you know exactly what it is. It has nothing to do with jewelry, almost at a deeper level.
Nothing.
Yeah, so awesome. Let's
We tried some. Sorry. It's really important to know this, but I want to tell everybody who wants to sell jewelry, like we tried selling it, just the piece itself. We would find these huge winners on Amazon and or Etsy or wherever, and we would try selling them blank, and we had zero success, like zero. And
Wow.
we started adding like messages behind it, either on a card or on the packaging, and that different ways that we sort of offered that messaging. That's actually the thing people are buying. They're not buying the piece of jewelry. They're buying like the poem, or they're buying like the
Amazing.
trigger.
And that's the perfect segue to my question. I'm so glad that you added that little texture in there. So rewind to the time when you were saying, right, we were just trying to sell blank and it just wasn't moving. What was the aha moment to then go, wait a second, should we be looking at the poem or some type of personalized element? How did you even start looking in that direction, rather than, because some people would have just tried better creative or different angles, or just keep pushing on selling blank but sell blank better? What caused you to be introspective and figure out, wait a second, we have to change tact?
Well, we offer a lot of different products now, but the first one was graphical, just very, I wouldn't call it basic. It's super high quality, but two-dimensional graphical jewelry. And so it was user generated. Using our app, you could put whatever design you wanted. And when we first started, we always thought that the simpler designs would sell. But when we were looking at the orders, it was actually the more words that were on like a dog tag or something, the better it sold. And so people were like actually really reading these messages and the poems that are on the pieces. And so that was sort of our aha moment. And so we're like
That's
all
cool.
in on messaging and personalization too. Like during certain seasons, we see a 60% upsell take rate on engraving personalization, like a name or something. and that's $15 free money like every time for the seller. So
Wow,
those really make a big difference in your returns.
that's awesome. And let's rewind even further. How does someone even go in their minds, you know what, I'm going to start a print on demand jewelry company and it's going to do well? Like,
Dude, it was like, the stars aligned, and I saw an opportunity before the stars aligned. I was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, so I lived between Harvard and MIT, like in a,
wow,
there's a
right.
ton of, I was like the janitor for those places. I didn't go to either of those schools.
Sure.
um, but I was in that ecosystem of startups, venture capital, and so I responded to a Craigslist ad for custommade.com, which is still around. It's a great company. I was one of the very first employees there. I was 22, and we were building a two-sided marketplace where you could request something custom made, and you could have different artisans make a bid on your piece. So we started in furniture and woodworking, and then we got into glass blowing, blacksmithing, pretty much high-end Etsy stuff, like $1,000 plus. And then we got to jewelry, and that quickly became the biggest vertical on the marketplace. And within jewelry, it was all this affinity based stuff that was selling super well. So it was like Star Wars engagement rings. We sold so many R2D2 engagement rings. It is like
That's
crazy.
crazy.
And then it was like, you know, Transformers earrings and stuff like that. So I was really like thinking about this affinity based jewelry stuff. Like, man, this stuff is slamming, at least in sci-fi. So around the same time, like 2015 was when Teespring started exploding. Teespring was an hour away. They started in Providence, Rhode Island. And at the beginning, I had no idea that that site was being run by Facebook marketers. All I knew is it went from 0 to 100 million in its like first year. And this was,
No,
yeah.
that's wild.
Well, this is when everyone was posting on the group, on the pages, and the organic reach was like 90% of the page followers would see it.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so I'd acquired this jewelry production background. I saw, marketers selling on demand t-shirts, and I was like, shit, I really want to combine these two things because I think it could be really big. And then it was like this for 2-3 years.
I bet.
Almost lost the company twice. Built it back,
Wow,
raised money, built it back. I've seen everything, and now we're like doing way better than I ever imagined we would. Yeah.
that's amazing. Do you yeah, I can't wait to I can't wait for not, and I knew the story already because we've jammed a whole bunch of times, and now that other people have heard it, I can't wait for those that hear this that are on the same path to hear someone go, I've almost lost my company twice and fought my way back to now to where it is. Hopefully they can go onto your website where you write about this stuff, or like be able to go, wait a second, it's not everything is lost when shit looks really really dire, right? Speaking about shit looking really dire, come March this year, a whole bunch of wacky stuff started happening to the world, and no one could make sense of things. And I remember us talking, and you were already doing some exploring into having some kind of operations in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So where and in your bio it mentions that most of your operations is in Jersey. How does it look now? How does the ShineOn operations look now?
Yeah. So we are out in the kind of the hills of New Jersey by the Pennsylvania border, and it's been an awesome place for us to hire folks. And the whole time we were there, our CTO Dan, he was actually down in Tampa, Florida, and so I started flying down there, once a month, twice a month, and I was like, what's going on with this place, specifically St. Petersburg? And it was kind of like a tropical Brooklyn. It was very hipster.
Yeah.
It had like a lot of really creative young people. So what's the deal with this place? Like, I had no idea. I just fell in love with the area, and then we decided to build a tech team here. So we hired a couple developers in Tampa, St. Pete, and then that was going great. We got a new office, the one I'm in right now, only 3 months ago, and so COVID hit, and this was like the perfect storm for us. I know it was the perfect storm for like a lot of people in e-commerce. A lot of people had broke their all-time records. Um, but the malls were closed. People needed Mother's Day gifts. We sold jewelry. So, we broke our all-time record 4 days in a row.
Wow.
I think Star Wars Day, May the 4th, I think that was our biggest day ever. And so, meanwhile, there were restrictions in New Jersey on COVID, how many people you could have in your facility. We were still open because we were manufacturing, but we only were allowed half the people. So we have like 3 times the orders, half the people,
That's nuts.
and we have to fulfill this for our sellers. So we're like, shit, we need to do something fast. So basically it was like Noah's Ark. It was like 2 of everything. Whatever we have in New Jersey, I want the same thing in Florida. We need this machine, this machine, this machine. And so we just duplicated the entire thing in like a week or two. And so
That is nuts.
out of necessity, no planning, just had to. I think a lot of entrepreneurs have done stuff like that. There was no question. It wasn't even questioning what to do. It was like, nope, this is what we got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, at the same time, I don't underappreciate the sheer amount of work that needs to go in to doing a duplicate within a span of like a week. That must be nuts. Just getting the machines in there and everything up and running, and the staff too to be able to know how to operate that.
Another stroke of luck was that somebody who worked in our in the production and fulfillment team in New Jersey, she moved to this area like a month before we got here.
Wow.
So I don't know what would have happened, but she was there, so she helped us get production set up quickly. So it just stars aligned.
That's amazing. So while we're on the topic of team and staff and employees, why is it so important to have moms represent such a big part of your workforce, your talent force?
Yeah. Well, actually, it was never like my intent to do that from the beginning. It just sort of happened. And I was looking around at our staff in New Jersey, and they all, we're in a small town. So a lot of the moms will drop their kids off at school, come in, make jewelry all day, go pick up their kids again. And so there's this really nice routine that we have up there, and it's a lot of fun. Everyone comes in together. I'm like, what up, ladies? What's the new gossip in town? Sometimes it's,
That's cool.
You see the hot new UPS man or whatever. So there's always like some little funny thing going there. But anyway, it's people just started bringing their friends in that were also like moms, because a lot of them were looking for work or bored or something like that. So we just started to build up this great community of moms. And then I was looking around and I was like, we got to market this. It's really unique.
Yeah.
And it's true. So it's been good for us marketing wise.
For sure, I bet. And do they, now that you have, you get to work with with that persona, I guess, that whole moms that are dropping kids off at school, coming in, spending their day making jewelry and being part of the team. What do they bring to the table that some other company might be missing out on?
Well, I think fulfillment and production, it can be a very repetitive job. So, you get a lot of burnout from that. Um, you get a lot of high turnover. That's just how it is. But
Totally.
we have like pretty much zero turnover. Um, because I'm real with those moms. I'm like, this is not easy. It's hard. I know it's repetitive. This is the same thing all day, every day. So let's just try to have fun while we're here. I even tell people, I'm like, look, you're not going to be doing this forever. I'm not even going to be running this company forever. At some point, this is going to all be something else. So while we're all here, let's just try to have fun. And so that's the kind of the culture we have.
That's dope. I love that so much. Um, and so let's shift gears a little bit here. You mentioned just before during the pre-roll, there's ShineOn Philippines and there's ShineOn Vietnam as well. Like, I know so many, especially direct to consumer entrepreneurs that go, well, the sexy is in the West, right? Like it's focused on the US, focused on the UK. And meanwhile,
Uh-huh.
here you are pushing and saying, pushing into ShineOn Vietnam, ShineOn Philippines. What do they bring to the table? And are a whole bunch of other entrepreneurs missing out on a big piece of the pie by neglecting Southeast Asia?
So our Facebook groups, if you go to Shine On Philippines, Shine On Vietnam, etc., these are their affiliate groups, their marketer groups, and the reason why we're so bullish on and spend a lot of resource and time in Southeast Asia is because let's say you're in the U.S. and you want to make a living strictly from e-commerce. Let's say you need about $100 US per day to feed yourself, pay your rent, whatever. So let's say you're making $20 profit per sale with us. You need to sell 5 items. If you're in Vietnam, you only need to sell 1 item, and it's about the same. You can live off of 1 item. So meaning you could be a less skilled marketer and be the same relative success as a marketer in the US.
Yeah.
So, that's why there's so much enthusiasm whenever we go to Vietnam or have an event there or have an event in Philippines, because one, those people don't always need to even do paid traffic to make a living. They have different organic strategies. They can sell 2-3 a day, and that's like an amazing job. It makes $60 profit per day over there. So that's why we're very bullish. If you work with affiliates, like if you have a product, and you want affiliates to sell it, really look at trying to work with people in like not just Southeast Asia, but outside of the US or Europe, and these sellers in these places, they'll actually target Americans, right?
Sure.
So
Of
they
course.
have to have good English. But I'm blown away. I'm like, how do they know that phrase? Like, how do they know that's such an American like thing? But they're like super good marketers, super good.
See,
Yes.
and that's so awesome to hear and so wild at the same time, because I mean, how often do we hear people just like, especially I guess business owners, brand owners, entrepreneurs in the West poo poo, like, oh, just VAs come out of the Philippines, or I have to keep holding their hand, or like, I tear through so many of them because they never give me what I need. Meanwhile, here you are with like 2 giant communities of people that are just like slaying it for the brand in that
Yeah,
way.
man, we have so many like Vietnamese sellers where I'm like, dude, this guy would kick your ass. Like, you have no idea how his volume he's doing. So yeah, there's a lot of respect for those folks over there. A lot of respect, and it's growing. It's growing super fast over there. Yeah, as far as like getting into e-commerce. The one thing I will say, because we've had over 17,000 installs of our app, all organic, all word of mouth,
Wow.
but there's very little installs in Latin America. So that's a place we're going to be exploring next. Probably make ShineOn Colombia next, and sort of teaching e-commerce there. Yeah.
That is nuts. How did you even? What was the? like, how did you even get to the Philippines and Vietnam and have such a big community? Did it require a really big push to go, I need to hire people here, start spreading the word, build a community, start actually, promoting and advocating for that? Or was it a build-up?
I would say, well, we knew that, there were big sellers in these places because they were somehow finding our app, word of mouth. And then a big part of really ramping it up over there was Payoneer. So Payoneer invited me to speak at their annual event. So I've been there the last 2 years in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh. And, it had all the other big print-on-demand platforms there, Teespring, Viral Style, Gear Launch, couple other ones like that. But we're definitely I would say the most different as far as products go. But yeah, Payoneer is super, super affiliated with top people because they all request their payouts through Payoneer.
Nice. Yeah. So that was the vehicle.
What? Sorry?
That was the vehicle that kind of helped lubricate that.
Yep. So they're a great partner, and there's a new one, a new company called Ping Pong, who's a payment solution company over there, who's doing really big business as well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm trying to figure out here how do you look at the ShineOn business as a model? Like, what triggers you to go, you know what? Yeah, South America. We're going to start Colombia, and then we're just going to move in there and then start spreading into Latin America, have Philippines and Vietnam running, and then start piecing all these things together. Because it seems like now that I can't even wait for the next 3 years to see where ShineOn's going to be then, and to be like, yeah, man. So it just started off with us thinking about Latin America, Colombia, and then now it becomes the platform. And I don't see that as being that unachievable whatsoever. The trajectory is already there.
Yeah. Well, in Vietnam, like, we don't have anybody on our team here that speaks Vietnamese, so we needed to create a group for them just to communicate. And so we had a rep. We had one of our reps over there be the manager of ShineOn Vietnam. And so, like, each of these places, it's not us. Sometimes it's us, but usually it's like an affiliate of ours who helps train people under them who join through their link.
Yes.
So like, and they'll get passive income by referring people to ShineOn, and they'll actually make money for every order for the people that they refer to us. So we're building an affiliate kind of ecosystem that way. But it's not like we're basically syndicating content. So if we do something in the main US English group, we'll syndicate that in other ones and translate it if we need to. But in our platform, like, we're rewriting the whole experience in Vietnamese right now. So you just click whatever flag, and the whole thing will change. I think it's those little things matter. Like, oh yeah, we actually really care.
Yeah.
Have to learn English.
Totally.
To our platform.
And were you always aware of, like, ever since I've known you, right, and I've watched the way you operate, it always struck me that you get to see the areas of care that the common person wouldn't. Like, for example, hey, these long ass pieces of text on a dog tag, people care about that stuff. Or hey, these moms that are coming into work, what do they really care about? It's not the money, it's not any of that thing. They just want to have fun at work and feel productive and have that. And then now you're talking about same thing with syndicating it to Vietnam or syndicating in Latin America. It's, hey, these small little things might seem really subtle, but it makes a huge difference. Like, were you always able to see that growing up? Like, is that part of your DNA, or is that a trained response?
Um, I definitely I feel like I have a lot of empathy for people. I think to be a good marketer, it all starts with empathy. Sometimes it gets me in trouble. Um,
Huh.
like, sometimes like in my closer relationships, I might have a little too much. But for work, it's been really good for us, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
How does and is that, do you think it's a learnable skill, or a skill that can be imparted?
Empathy,
Yeah.
uh, like marketer kind of empathy. Um, it's just love, you know. It's just love. There's a saying. I was reading this sales book maybe like a year ago, and part of one of their tactics when they're going into sale is like keep repeating in your mind like I love you, I love you, I love you. Like when you're talking to the person,
Right.
you're just thinking this because it's going to change your expression. It's going to change the way you sell. And so I think that sometimes too with our marketers, with like, no, I really want you to make more profit. Like this is all about you. We'll get it's kind of like love. Like if you just give it, you'll get what you want back, even if you don't like expect without expectation. Like it'll all come back to you. And even with our business, like yeah, there's a lot of times where we could have taken profit from the company, but we've never taken profit out. We've always rolled it back into more people, more equipment, more machines, and we just keep going. We just keep going because um, I think the more people we have engaged with what we're doing, the more less risky it becomes, the more stable it becomes, the more channels we get into. We're starting a lot of Pinterest stuff right now,
Nice.
Amazon. We just hired the woman who ran jewelry for eBay. So she's going to be helping our sellers deploy all of their designs on eBay as well. Um,
Amazing.
so yeah, I think if you just keep going, like don't worry about don't worry about the profit now. Um, I mean, it's a big risk. It's a big risk,
Of
but that's
course.
just my style, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. And hey, shit, it seems to be working so far. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's the inroads that you've been making since we first met is super impressive.
Yeah, but when was that? Like two years ago.
2 years ago.
2.5. Yeah, 2.5. December 18.
Mm-hmm.
17.
Something like that. I don't even remember anymore. Oh my god, it's just like, as an example of how time is right now expanding and compressing at the same time. The last time we saw each other was only January. It feels like I haven't seen you in years.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were
St. Pete
here in
was just
St. Pete.
January. Yeah, St. Pete was just in January. It's so wild. So, and that's what I mean, right? Like looking back at when we first met, what we were talking about, and then we caught up again in person in Vegas, and then in St. Pete. Like each time, there are all these inroads that are happening, and I see you. I'm just like, man, this thing is going places, and it's so interesting to hear how it's like our conversation so far. Not a lot of it's not this super fancy, highly technical. There are just very strong fundamentals that just drive the whole thing, which is, I guess, in the Good to Great book by Jim Collins, what he calls the flywheel. It sounds like you guys have that flywheel down pat, and it just perpetuates itself. The model is there, and it can just keep going. So it's super cool to watch, dude.
I feel like we're starting to get there. I
Right.
appreciate that. We try super hard, man. Like everyone on the team we're all in. Um, my management style is like, I can tell if you're all in or not, you know? Like I can tell if this problem we're trying to solve, like I can see it in a lot of people's brains and I can identify when it's like They're not really engaged with the problem we're trying to solve. So, you know, it's like hiring the right people who are all like, dude, I want to build this new thing no one's ever done before. You got to find those people and hold on to them, you know,
Yeah.
and keep them engaged. Not just like, oh yeah, you can make 100 grand here and we have like beer on tap. You know, it's not like that.
Oh, totally. Yeah, you're not joining Google where they have like an in-house chef and lunch is paid for and
Although my custom made before this, we were actually burning $1 million a month, losing $1 million a month. So I know how to lose $1 million a month as well. So
wow. That is wild.
we raised 25 million and from Google Ventures, like really big people. And dude, we had the biggest parties in Boston, like
I
tech
bet.
parties, all that crap. But we had a shitty business underneath it all. Like it sucked. It was cool, but it didn't make money. It didn't like have margin. It didn't have a good supply chain. It didn't have vertically integrated supply chain. So when I say like I almost lost ShineOn twice, the first the f- first couple of times were like didn't have enough grasp on watching margin. It was just about revenue and okay, raise money, get top line revenue, raise more money, and all of that. But that's can be really wishful thinking.
Right.
So getting control of margin and then manufacturing our own stuff. Like the first time the first iteration, we would take orders from ShineOn, and this is when we like in 2016 we started with these really cool 3D pieces. So we'd have like firefighter, police, all this like amazing
Mm-hmm.
three-dimensional jewelry. Take the CSVs, send them to my friend's factory in Thailand. He would make them on demand after we received money from the customer. So it was cool. Like we sold a ton, millions and millions of dollars, but it was, and the quality was amazing. Like this factory, they make all of Saks Fifth Avenue's jewelry.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but the customer is waiting 4 to 5 weeks to get it. So
Right.
they don't care what you say. They don't trust you. So it was like charge back, and that was how we almost blew everything. Was through all these chargebacks, and we had a great product, a great service for sellers, but that was when we decided to take the rest of our cash like 3 years ago, um, and set up our own everything on our own with the machines, personalization, the engraving, and that's when we came out with the first version of our Shopify app. It was in 2017, November 2017. Yep.
That's wild. That is so recent. It's not even funny. It was actually not all that long ago. That's amazing.
Feels like it.
Yeah, man. That's so awesome to hear. It so you were talking about empathy so far, talking about the way your Vietnamese crew, some of them know like certain sayings or how to write certain copy and right angles that are not native to them, and then now with you talking about like looking at margin and all these other things. If someone were to kick off or they are running jewelry right now, or they're kicking off, considering going into the space, using ShineOn, for example, as a print-on-demand manufacturer supplier, what are the things that they should be looking out for in terms of, are there triggers that they should be facing? Should they niche down and go, hey, listen, I want to create this for this certain vertical? Should it be looking at margin? As an entrepreneur that for yourself that has gone through the almost losing your company twice and all those other different elements, what pieces of advice can you provide to a soon-to-be possibly entrepreneur or an existing one in the jewelry space? How should they start thinking about getting their flywheel or getting their shit going?
Well, it depends what you want to do, I think. If you are like a print on demand seller, and you could probably max out a few million a year profit, like which is amazing, right?
Just a few million.
That's yeah. It is sort of cash flow. I mean,
Right.
you could build a store, you could build an asset there. So my advice, if you want to do that route, is to just target, like, go to like personalizationmall.com, go to thingsremembered.com. Things Remembered used to be in all the malls in America. So it was a store you could go in and you could get like whatever you want engraved, personalized, and they had machines in the mall. Before they went bankrupt, they were doing 400 to 500 million a year, which is amazing. It's just that people were like they weren't doing that in the mall anymore.
Yes.
So personalizationmall.com popped up and was the digital version of that. And so they're still organic. So we're like the direct response version of Personalization Mall. But you'll notice with all of these stores, they're all doing like family-based stuff, gifting, because those are timeless, literally timeless niches. Somebody always has a birthday. Somebody always has an anniversary. Somebody's always getting a wife. Someone's always having a kid. Someone's always having a brother or a sister and a grandchild and a grandmother. So the family, like, just sticking within family is like, there's niches within family, and then everyone, like 99.9% of people have families. So you're able to address massive audiences. That's why it's really cool. That's why I always tell everybody, just get into family, dude. Like, I'm not afraid to give you any inside secrets to it, because there's no like secret.
It's a huge pool.
Yeah, there's enough for everybody.
That's wild. Yeah. No need to get fancy, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And if you want to really create a big brand where you're like, not doing POD, but you're creating a product, you're inventorying it, supply chain, managing inventory, turnover rate, measuring carrying costs for inventory. Like, I didn't know shit about any of this stuff. I was forced to learn it, to figure it out, because we were like, so many times we had so little money in the bank, we were forced to like hack inventory, hack supply chain. One of the things we do with our vendors is, because our orders are streaming and somewhat unpredictable because of Facebook, we're streaming orders from all different sellers all over the world, all different stores all over the world. So that's streaming. So we actually have to, if you want to match that, you have to have your supply streaming, your vendors, right? So our boxes, our shipping, like our chains, all this stuff, we set it up with our factories too. So they're streaming. We're almost actually ordering right now weekly from everybody. We could do daily, but it used to be like quarterly or monthly, but now we actually order weekly. And sometimes we'll have multiple vendors or factories producing the exact same thing, like a box company 1, box company 2. They produce the same thing, because if we need it quickly, they could each do 50% quicker than one person could do 100%.
Wow. Yeah.
And so 2-3 people doing the same thing on the supply side. So it's streaming, everything's streaming, and you don't want to get caught with like shipping everything on a boat, warehousing that for like a year, 6 months. Like, dude, there's so much wasted cash. You could throw that into marketing. So lean supply chain is everything. And that's why print on demand works super well for everybody. But of course, you're a bit more limited in what you can do in it,
Totally. But even just to hear that part, I think it's important for anyone that has to manage inventory to understand the workings of how, because that impacts cash flow like crazy. And
yes, number one thing.
Yeah, number one, man. It is so wild. Man, this is so good. Listen, if And if you guys watching right now, if you have any questions that you want to pose, I don't want to take up all the airtime and suck in all the oxygen. If you guys have a question that you want to pose, Eric, please throw it into the comments. I've got one here already that I would love to throw your way. And you kind of answered it. I just want to make sure that Eric gets his question specifically answered. Like, what do you do to find triggers and emotions to drive the customer to make a purchase? And what emotions? You mentioned family already, and then before that you were talking about products with, like, you know, the firemen and the policemen and all that. Is there a framework that your team encourages your sellers to use to go, hey, think about it this way? Here's your empathy framework almost.
Well, so the person you're targeting with jewelry or like get personalized products is not the person who's wearing it. Okay. So the call to action it's not like this would look great on you. It's like your wife would love this. Your life would love this. Your husband needs this, you know? So it's like reverse targeting in a way. So that, another tip would be like, you know, our best selling ads are the ones we took in a garage with an iPhone, you know, not the super professional ones. At least for the ad, not for the product page, but for the ad.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you guys do much work with influencers?
So like we don't do any direct ourselves. The only direct, because we're like in service of everybody else. The only direct we'll do is when we're discovering new products and we're testing them internally. That's the only time we'll do direct. But you know, if somebody came to us, like a store that had our Shopify app, and they were like, "Yeah, I got this big influencer. I want to do a private product." We do private products. That'll be actually we'll have a whole portal for that in the future. It's a program called Deposit on Demand. And it's basically something in between you going out and buying inventory and print on demand. So with Deposit on Demand, you give us 25% of the wholesale cost. So if it's $10, you give us $2.50 per unit. We'll make all of your stocks, warehouse them, and then as the order comes in from your store, we'll charge you the remaining 75%. Okay. So that 25, it doesn't cover all of our costs, but what it does is you're like locked in. You spend a lot of money on inventory. We spend a lot of resource. You're committed to selling through. And that's how we get a lot of really unique products is we have like some super awesome Christian hunting jewelry. A lot of Christian stuff that are all like private designs. So if you can bring a private design to us, you can message me. We start at 1,000 unit quantity. So you'd probably be looking at about $2,000.
That's not a lot at all. Wow.
No, for 1,000 units.
Well, that's amazing. Yeah. That you're making this so accessible for so many people, and if they just know a little bit of what they're doing, or they can skill themselves up a little bit, man, this right here is income enablement in such a powerful way. I fucking love it.
Yeah, and nobody else can sell that product. It's like yours.
Wow.
Finding your own thing.
I got a question from Steve here. Are most sellers making their sales from running Facebook traffic? Do you know? Okay, awesome. I figured that was the case.
We actually have 3 million views a month on Pinterest right now. It's not really converting. It's not converting at all compared to Facebook. So people are getting these views. The thing we're working on next is like working the different retargeting angles for that Pinterest traffic, because I think the buyer is in a different like mood than a Facebook person. So we're trying to crack the code there. we're gonna help everybody like sell on eBay. I know eBay is going through a lot of big changes right now with their management and strategy. So I think we'll see some cool things. I had a call with the head of Southeast Asia for Google the other night, and they're doing some really cool things with Google Shopping
Oh yeah.
and paid. So we're gonna help sellers get up to speed on Google Shopping. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I can't wait to run this interview 3 years from now. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be so wild. I cannot wait.
It's gonna go fast.
It is gonna go really, really fast. Now, we're getting to my favorite part of the show, and I honestly can put my hand on my heart and say I love doing every single episode. And this part right here, I always relish this opportunity. So, the Growth and Greatness Show I started this inspired by Inside the Actors Studio, which was hosted by the late James Lipton. I'm looking to always help continue that tradition, which he was continuing from a French host, Bernard Pivot. So we are moving into that section of the show right now. Rapid fire. I've got 12 questions for you. You can answer as short or as long as you want. Eric, you ready?
All right. I'm excited.
Nice. Eric, what's your favorite book?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Love it.
By
What is
Dale
your
Carnegie.
Nice. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Probably serendipity.
What is your least favorite word?
My least favorite word would be probably least.
This is why I love this section. What turns you on? What switches you on?
Like what motivates me? I think creating like a flywheel, creating something that, okay, you're pushing this rock up a hill for so long, and that's what I've been doing for years. And now it's starting to kind of get enough smart people around it where it's sort of spinning on its own. I think once you get to that level and you start bringing in really experienced people and having a community going out, I guess the thing that motivates me would be going and like creating more communities in similar types of things. E-commerce has been a really good start, probably do a lot more of that, but I'm also interested in doing communities that aren't just business stuff. I'm really big into like Zen and meditation. I'm really big into Latin culture too. So there's like stuff I want to do in those two places.
Amazing. And what turns you off?
Well, I think one of the biggest lessons I've had is that not everybody thinks like me. So it used to be or not everybody is like me personality wise. A huge turnoff would be, oh, you're not like as committed as me. That's a huge turnoff. Like, I don't get it. Why are we not on the same page with all of this? And we started actually giving this personality test to everybody on the team called, there's a lot out there, but there's one called Gallup that we do, the Gallup poll. It's called Clifton Strengths, $50.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, it's so accurate, so hyper accurate. I've taken these weird INTJ, whatever, personality tests. This is like, you're an achiever, you're an arranger, you're competitor. And I understood myself more from Gallup than like anything. And that showed me that other people are totally different from me. And that's when you see it on paper, like, that's why they are the way they are. And I like just respect other types of people a lot more now.
Amazing. I've got another one that we use, which I can share with you after we go off air if you want to dig deeper into other ones.
Yeah.
This one was the one that made us do the same, and it's like, oh, this explains away a lot. So next question: what sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of reggae. Like
What
the
sound?
kind of, the kind
Yeah.
of same that beat. Yeah.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Um. Hmm. Sound that I hate.
Or
The
noise?
hate ones are so hard. The hate ones are so hard noise.
You're just filled with
I
love,
would
man.
say, I mean, I use I hate the standard like alarms that sounds on the iPhone. I hate them to death. So for years I was like waking up to the same shitty alarm. So you can actually, ringtones are like still a thing. So I downloaded a reggae ringtone and I wake up to a reggae ringtone now, and it's like my life is way better.
I was just gonna say, if you hate your alarm, what a horrible way to start your day is the first thing that you hear.
Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word?
Curse.
Yeah.
Um, it's like in Spanish, pendejo, which is like fucker.
Nice. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Profession.
Mm-hmm.
Writer.
What kind of writer? Book, copy, fiction.
All nonfiction stuff, like just trying to help people from my experience.
That's cool. Now, what's the greatest piece of advice you've ever received that's helped you grow?
I would say I remember when I was in a sales job, like I was literally doing phone sales at 22. Actually, this was like the first job I ever had at custommade.com. Was I was calling these artisans and selling like subscription advertising packages to them. Hey, you could, before it was a marketplace, hey, you could get on this site for $500 a year or whatever. And so I was like horrible at it, horrible. And so Seth, one of the co-founders, who's still a mentor to me today, he was like, hey, just figure out ways to create urgency. And so that always stuck with me with everything. I remember when I was on the phone practicing this, it didn't matter what day it was. If it was Wednesday, it was like, oh, level up Wednesday. Oh, you get level up to the gold package on Wednesday. If it was Thursday, it'd be like, oh yeah, double listings Thursday. Like, didn't matter. I was making it up every time for every person. It worked super well for me. So just figuring out different ways to create urgency. I mean, that's why like all the gimmicky timers and stuff worked on Shopify. Now it's, Facebook doesn't like that so much anymore, but there's other ways you can still create urgency.
Totally. Eric, what does greatness mean to you?
I think greatness is self-actualization. So it would be under full alignment with your heart and your mind and full understanding of your divine self. I don't think any other sort of greatness is faux. It's like fake, I don't think it brings true happiness. But if you master yourself, that to me is greatness.
I love it. Final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Probably, I was worried about you for a second.
Nice. I love it. And final question. First of all, I want to honestly, like, the past hour has been super awesome. Every time we got to catch up previously, it was always around a whole bunch of other people, or we had work to talk about. Like, we rarely get to do this. So now we get to do it. Super happy, super grateful, and we get to do it with a whole bunch of people joining us as well. So I really want to say thanks for the past hour. And I also want to make sure that the people that are watching this have an opportunity to learn more about the stuff that we were talking about today. So where can they go find you, and where can they go find ShineOn? Can you give us some URL shout outs?
Yeah, appreciate that. And thanks for having me. It's been awesome, man. Love it.
Love you, man.
Love you too. So I write at my personal site, Eric with a C, ERIC, toz.com. It's in my Facebook profile too. So half the stuff is like business lessons. I have an article like how to raise venture capital in 6 different steps, how to get an 800 credit score, those sort of things. And then I also just talk about kind of life stuff too there. It's really important to me to create content there. And then ShineOn.com, ShineOn.com. And if you want to sell with us and get started, just go to the homepage and go in the upper right corner. It says sellers and affiliates. It's a button. So that's where you can either install the Shopify app for free, or you can register to be a seller on the ShineOn.com platform.
And tell us a bit more about the community aspect as well. So on Facebook, I know that there is a Facebook group. I'm a part of that group. I'd love for other people to hear about that too, and what that brings to the table.
Yeah, we're live right now in ShineOn Profits on Demand. So we have 11,000 marketers there now. That's the first place we announce anything, announce a new product, announce targeting help, announce big support stuff, or like a feature. We always announce it there first. People also will post questions. It shouldn't be like the main CS channel, but sometimes we answer them so other people can see them publicly. And then other people, we encourage people to share their success. With the family jewelry, like I said, there's enough pie for everybody. So don't worry about like hoarding it all for yourself. Like, it's huge.
The best groups never do. And I find the most successful people never do either. In fact, it's the other way around. They can't wait for just like what you said, right? It's not about me, it's about you. And if I keep giving it out, I'll get mine eventually somehow anyway. But they don't stop themselves they don't censor themselves from that whatsoever.
Pretty much, yeah.
Love it, man.
So you got a big day ahead of you now?
Yes, sir. Gotta keep on grinding. I can't wait to start. Can't wait to start doing planning the second season of this too. We're gonna shake things up a little bit, I think.
Ooh.
I don't know what it looks. I don't even know what it looks like yet. I just know that I'm gonna shake shit up.
We're live right now in my ShineOn groups. Where can people find your show?
So facebook.com/growgreat.tv. That's where all of the lives, they automatically get uploaded and recorded. And if you search Growth and Greatness on YouTube, if you just happen to be more of a YouTube person, Growth and Greatness, we've got a channel there as well. All the lives go up there. And then on IG, we're gonna drop a whole bunch of other chopped up snippet content too, and that's just at growgreat_TV.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be share it.
Much love, man. It's gonna be super fun. We're gonna hopefully have like a comeback series where almost like a Where Are They Now revisit, half a year after, just to catch up and see where everyone's at and track that journey. So I can't wait for that. Dude, I want to stay respectful of your time. Thank you so much for the past hour. That has been super awesome. For everyone watching with me, do me a favor, show your thanks to Eric as well. Just shout him out in the comment section as you're watching this. Just give him a bit of a thumbs up, one of those raised hands ones or one of those prayed ones, because I'm going to be doing the same. All that type of stuff always helps. or a thumbs down. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel, and we respect that.
I made it all up, everything.
Right, exactly. It was all fabricated. If you go to erictaz.com, it just redirects you to some other seedy site. Dude, I really do appreciate you. Do me a favor. I'm gonna do the outro. Stay on the line. I just want to make sure I say bye and say thanks properly.
Okay.
All right, man. Much love. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was good old Eric. I always love catching up with Eric because his calming nature and his deep thinking is always has profound effects on me, and I hope it has for you as well. Every week, I am going to be bringing guests just like Eric, all different types from all different verticals who are on the path of growth and towards their own greatness. So if you like this episode and you haven't already, I do hope that you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're on Facebook, do give us a like. And if you're ever calling us out, use the hashtag GG Show. And I will see you on the next episode of the GG Show. See you soon.